high school wrestling on CISN. I'm Pat Curtis, joined by Keith Bornas tonight for a triangular meet tonight featuring three 3A schools, including one of the best teams as far as rankings are concerned in the state, the host school, the Waukee Warriors. Waukee will face Mason City coming up here shortly. Then the Mohawks will wrestle Norwalk. And then Norwalk and Waukee will face each other in the final duel of the night. So an exciting night of high school wrestling here, Keith, and a very important one for these three teams.
Very important. And, you know, the question, why is there kind of a double duel tonight? And the reason for it is with the weather that we had these last couple of weeks, some teams lost some dual meets along the way. And so Norwalk gave a call and said, hey, can we come up and join you guys for Waukee and Mason City? And Waukee very cordially said, yeah, come on in. Because not only are they being generous to have Norwalk come in, Waukee wants to know where they kind of stack up against Norwalk, as Norwalk is right on the cusp of being potentially that top 10, that top 8 as far as dual teams are concerned. And, you know, they come in 11-1. They haven't been given as much love from the rankings as a Waukee has there, because they don't necessarily wrestle the same level of competition week in and week out. But Norwalk, you ask anybody around the area, Norwalk is a very, very good dual team wrestling program. And so that's going to be a great matchup when we get to the Waukee-Norwalk meet in just a little bit.
Yeah, we will be starting with Mason City, though, taking on Waukee. And unfortunately for us, the spectators, and for Mason City, they're without some of their best wrestlers. The Shriver brothers, both not in the lineup tonight. They're both planning to wrestle at the University of Iowa and among the best wrestlers in the state at their respective weight classes, 126 and 145. But just little injury bug, and they're just being held out tonight by Coach Dusty Rhodes. And Mason City coming in here with a dual meet record of 2-8. They had 4 state qualifiers last year, and a lot of those are, I think, let's see here, all of those wrestlers, 3 of those wrestlers are back. I'm sorry. Of course, the Shriver brothers, and then we'll see the coach's son, Jace Rhodes, sophomore at 113. He finished second last year at 106. We're going to start this duel, I think you said, Keith, at 138.
138 is where we're going to be starting tonight. Then as we look ahead, Norwalk and Mason City will start at 145, and then Waukee and Norwalk will start at 152.
All right. So our first match when we get underway here at 138 pounds will feature Mason City's Seth Eilenfeld and Waukee's Dominic Rubino, sophomore, against freshman. Mason City, in addition to having the Shriver brothers out, have a number of open weights, so we will see some forfeits when Mason City is on the mat in these first dual meets. Our camera will be focused on the varsity matches. They've got 2 other mats here in the gym, and a number of JV wrestlers will be going at it, but we'll be entirely focused on the varsity matches. We'll have Mason City and Waukee in our first duel tonight here from Waukee High School on CISN. That's coming up next, but right now a timeout.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com. The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me. Because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
The starting varsity lineups being introduced for all three teams right now.
And they're doing this because they're hoping, because of the distance that Mason City's going to have to travel and trying to get 3 full dual meets in here, they want to take as minimal time in between the meets as possible. So to get all the introductions away out of the way right now.
All right. And again, we'll be starting with Mason City against Waukee. Then our second duel just a few minutes after that, Norwalk against Mason City. And then our final duel will be Norwalk against Waukee. Again, Waukee, the host school, ranked number 7 in the state. Maybe higher or lower, depending what poll you look at, but I think they were number 7 in the last coaches poll, and that's very important, Keith, because the top, is it 8 schools
Top
get to host a regional duel on February 12th?
That's right. So the top 24 are going to be wrestling in the dual regional meet, and 3 schools will be it'll be a double duel. Kind of. It's the 2 lower seeds, or the 2 visiting schools, they'll wrestle each other first, and then the winner would take on the host school. And it is the top 8 teams that are going to be the host schools. Waukee would certainly like to fall into a host school situation. Norwalk would certainly like to fall into a host school because it gives you the best chance of making your way onto the state dual tournament.
Yeah. Waukee finished 6th in the state dual tournament last year. Back with wrestling after this on CISN.
Moms typically...
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
It's amazing as we look at the gym floor with these 3 mats out there, all the chairs and the scoring tables. Just a half an hour ago, Keith, there was a basketball practice going on.
There was a basketball practice going on in here because when I walked in the door, I was half expecting the mats to be set and everything ready to go. Teams getting warmed up. I have no idea where they warmed up. Maybe in the parking lot on that beautiful, balmy 34-degree weather outside. But yes, we are now in a situation where it looks like we're ready for wrestling.
I got here around 4:30 and walked into the gym and thought, where's the wrestling meet tonight? Well, it's going to be in here. And here we are.
You know, you take a look at, as we were walking around earlier, getting ourselves mentally prepared, saying they're never going to have this set up and ready to go by 5:30. Athletes from both schools, plus the host team Waukee, were in here setting up mats. And so that is pretty impressive as well, that everybody was here willing to help out and get things organized. It really does boil down to a love for wrestling.
All right, Mason City against Waukee, our first duel tonight. Mason City will be in the gray or silver singlets with the red and black trim. Waukee in sort of the black singlets with purple and gold colors mixed in. And we're going to be starting again at 138 pounds for Mason City. Seth Eilenfeld. And for Waukee, Dominic Rubino.
At 138 pounds. Up first
Both wrestlers having to check in at the table because on the paper, on the lineup, you can put anybody in there as long as they make weight, but it's not official until they check in with the table. And both wrestlers checked in, and it is time to wrestle.
All right, this is freshman against sophomore. Rubino, the freshman for Waukee. And the Warriors, let's see here, they've had a real challenging schedule this year, Keith. I know they've had at least 8 or 9 dual losses, but those are against some of the best schools, not only in this state, but across the country.
Yeah, they had 5 losses in one dual team tournament up in Minnesota. So, yeah, they're a much better team than their record shows, but they're going to have to be that much better team tonight.
There's a takedown for Rubino, our first points of the night here at 138 pounds.
Nice job on the outside single, and was able to kind of sit back and just dump him down for the takedown. Now he's working the crossface, he's working the half Nelson, he's working on trying to get the leg in, which he just got done. A lot of pressure he's putting on, keeping that leg in and getting that half in.
Still getting some back points here, and now Eilenfeld able to fight off his back, but a 5-0 now in the first period.
It was a great effort on trying to roll all the way through, but the more experienced top wrestler was able to just get a pause there to continue on that back point count.
Again, if you're just joining us, we're in match number 1 of our first duel tonight, Mason City against Waukee. This is the Waukee wrestler, Dominic Rubino, on top, and he has a 5-0 lead at the end of the first period. And in case you missed it, the Shriver brothers from Mason City will not be wrestling tonight. Colby, one of the top-ranked wrestlers in the state at 145, and Colin ranked number 1 at 126, but just nursing some injuries and not going to compete tonight. This is Eilenfeld on top now, the wrestler from Mason City, a sophomore, trailing 5-0 as we're 25 seconds into the second period.
I think Wyman. I think we're looking at Wyman.
Oh, okay. And
well, unless yours got changed from mine.
Okay, just talking to the coach before the duel, he told me Eilenfeld at 138.
All right.
We apologize if we had that incorrect, but the winner by pin is Dominic Rubino at 138, so a quick 6-0 lead for Waukee.
We'll listen in to the announcer to see who we have here. Make sure we're back on track with the right.
145 pounds, your winner, Colin Driscoll.
All right, so 145, there was a forfeit by Mason City.
Next up on the mat at 152 pounds, for Mason City, Ben Lawrence, and for the Warriors, Cody Anderson.
These are the names we were expecting to see at 152. And Anderson in on a takedown immediately and putting a lot of pressure on. Decides, we're going to start up again.
Escape for Lawrence, 2-1.
A lot of times if you can get a takedown that quickly, if it doesn't feel right, go ahead, let him up, him down again. This time, it felt better. Got the chicken wing in the half and ended it with 134 to go in the first.
Cody Anderson, ranked number 3 in the state at 152. He's a 3-time place winner, now a senior, and he scores a pin to give Waukee a 18-0 lead. And we move to 160, and as you may have heard, Riley Monahan for Mason City, Jermaine Samler for Waukee.
It's our first opportunity to see Mason City this year. We've seen Waukee on several occasions. So we know, we kind of have a pretty good feeling of what Waukee has. And Samler has not disappointed this year in the matches we've seen him wrestle.
And he's quickly up 2-0 here and now getting some near fall points. Couple of juniors here at 160.
Samler did a nice job running that kind of a deep waist with the near elbow and rolled him through for that tilt. Now he's got a half Nelson in, but the official does not like how the arm was looking there, so potentially dangerous. We're going to start fresh with Lawrence down.
This for Norwalk, which the team will see later battling Mason City and Waukee. They're here at 160 pounds. They have Ethan Vederick, who's ranked number 6 at this weight class. But right now, Jermaine Samler holding a 5-0 lead over Riley Monahan of Mason City.
Samler tried to do that same roll through tilt again. But it wasn't as tight this time, and so Lawrence was able to get away with not giving up any points. Gets an escape, 5-1 in favor of Samler. 20 seconds to go here in the first.
Samler getting close to another takedown, but a whizzer there for Monahan, and he lets it go, and 2 more for Samler.
7-1.
Mason City has 3 weights coming up here shortly, 182, 195, and 220, where they're planning to forfeit.
Which kind of makes for a quick meet. And we've seen some quick ones this year.
Yeah. Not as many forfeits, though, as we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, we've just seen a lot of bonus points when we get into a lot of pins this year.
Samler with a 7-1 lead to start the second period, and he has another takedown. He's got a cradle locked up.
And he's working it over. It is a tight cradle. With a minute 30 to go, that is an awful long time to be hanging out there.
Samler still with that cradle locked up. Now lets it go, and he'll take the three more near fall.
Monahan did a great job working his arm through. He's got real long limbs, so he was able to reach his arm through, and he also had his leg in a pretty good situation where he was able to stop the forward pressure to get his shoulders down on the mat. So credit him with good use of leverage.
Here's another tilt for Samler, already leading this match by the score of 12-1, getting more back points here, and nearing that tech fall in the second period.
3 back points for Samler.
30 seconds to go here in the second period. Next takedown will end it.
If it's Samler getting the takedown, and he
well
does.
True.
And that's a tech fall for Waukee. And now a team score of 23-0. Waukee with 2 pins, a tech fall, and a forfeit.
For Mason City, Aiden Colby. And for the Warriors, Tanner Spikesma.
And as we expected here at 170, it's Colby against Spikesma. Senior against sophomore, and a takedown for Tanner Spikesma.
Nice job by Colby to get his hips up in the air as he was trying to elevate him high enough to get Spikesman to roll down over the top. The problem, he just hung out there too long, and Spikesman was able to control those hips and break him back down to the mat. But now Colby up onto his feet. 2-1 in favor of Spikesman. Another nice shot there by Spikesma. He gets the takedown on a low double leg.
This is the 170-pound weight class. Logan Niels of Ankeny Centennial ranked number 1 at this weight, followed by Mickey Griffith, Des Moines Lincoln. Wrestler freshman from Waverly Shell Rock ranked 3rd, McCrae Haggerty.
Colby has been in some very precarious situations here tonight, but able to wrestle his way out of it. Spikesma has had many different pinning combinations, but just has not been able to capitalize on it. And another escape there by Colby. And now he takes the shot, but Spikesma drops his hip down well with a crossface in there as he spins around for 2.
9-2 as the final seconds tick off the clock here in the first period.
Spikesman able to get a lot of work done. But I tell you, I'm pretty impressed with Colby in all of the situations he's been in, he's been able to wrestle out of.
And he'll start on top to begin the second period.
Nice sit down there by Spikesman to work in onto the double leg. And Colby did a pretty good job of turning his hips and trying to work that whizzer in. But Spikesman, just a little bit much for him tonight. 12-2 with 1:30 to go in the second.
That's Keith Borness. I'm Pat Curtis. This is High School Wrestling on CISN. Thanks for tuning in. We're watching Mason City against Waukee. The Warriors taking a 23-0 lead after the first 4 matches. We started at 138 pounds. We're now at 170. And Tanner Spikesma with a 12-3 lead over Aiden Colby of Mason City.
Every time Spikesman has been up on Colby, he's been riding a little bit high. And when he rides high, Colby's actually tried to do a kind of a pseudo side roll 2 different times. Almost got it done on this one. And Spikesma wisely kind of just gave up 1 instead of 2. That's why we went to our feet. But Spikesma missed the takedown on the edge of the mat, went back to the middle, and was able to get a duck under takedown here.
Spikesma very near another technical fall for the Warriors.
He has his 3.
A 15-point advantage ends the match. There's actually a pin, though. And that is the 3rd pin in the first 5 matches for Waukee, making our score 29-0. Several forfeits coming up here. While those are announced, we'll take a timeout on CISN.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside, and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
We're at heavyweight. Matt Kaputska for Waukee, Carter Gorder, the sophomore for Mason City, after the Mohawks forfeited the previous 3 matches at 182, 95, and 220.
And when you forfeit, it's not just 3 team points that you give up. You're giving up all 6. Treat it just like if it were a pin. And so a lot of bonus points happening tonight.
So 47-0 already. Waukee leading Mason City after 9 matches. Or I'm sorry, 8 matches. This is our 9th match. Again, we started at 138.
Matt Kapustka for Waukee, not their normal heavyweight, who is still out. They're hoping to get him back here relatively soon. But Waukee's upper weights have filled in very well so far this year. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens when they do get their full lineup back.
Yeah, Connor Arndt, the senior, has been battling back from injury. He's ranked in the top 5 at this weight class, hoping to be back for a run at the state tournament.
Nice attempt there by a duck with a duck under by Kaputska, but he just didn't drop his hips enough to be able to get it done, nor did he hit it quite fast enough. Gorder has done a nice job being able to kind of slow that down, and now he's putting together a little bit of offense.
But no score at the end of the first period here at 285 pounds.
Gorder does have the opportunity to choose. He is going to take down to start the second period. That'll give Kaputska the choice in the third if we go that far.
And Kaputska does not want it to go that far. And another pin for Waukee. This one at 285 from Matt Kaputska. And our score jumps to 53-0 Waukee. They've won every match, obviously, so far as we flip to 106 pounds.
Paul Fabian, the freshman, is going to be wrestling a pretty tough young man, junior Elijah Hoffbauer for Waukee. And Hoffbauer off to a start right away. 7 seconds in, he's got 2 points for the takedown.
We saw a great match between Hoffbauer and Ezra Christensen of Valley a couple weeks ago at Valley High School. Christensen, the sophomore for the Tigers, coming out on top 5-2 in that one. And Hoffbauer, a junior, and Fabian for Mason City, a freshman. Some back points possibly here for the Warriors. 106-pounder, he's getting the count now.
Trying to do his best to bridge out. He had the bridge going, but Hoffbauer was able to get his body up on top. And it's, when you're 106 pounds, it's not all that easy to take your weight and 106 more pounds and bridge up off your back.
59-0 our score.
Speaking of 13. Speaking of Valley, I think they're over at Southeast Polk tonight.
That should be a good
There
good
should
one.
be a couple of good matches in there.
So 113, we're looking at a wrestler who was in the state finals last year as a freshman, Jace Rhodes, now a sophomore for Mason City. He was finished second last year at 106. He's ranked number 5 at 113 this year, and he's in on a shot for Tanner Smith, trying to escape out of this one. Smith, the sophomore for Waukee, and a takedown for the coach's son, Jace Rhodes.
Yeah, wrestling kind of a family tradition there in the Rhodes household. Dad, a multi-state champion out of Osage.
And Jace has just 4 losses this year. One of those losses to the kid from Ankeny, who he also lost to in the state championship last year, Trevor Anderson. Bailey Roybal of Waverly Shellrock has been ranked number 1 at this weight class, followed by Trevor Anderson of Ankeny. And then a wrestler from Notre Dame, Ryder Downey of Indianola, another wrestler who has beaten Jace Rhodes this year, is ranked 4th. And then Rhodes in there at number 5.
And he is riding very tough right now. He has an underhook and a wrist. He switched it over, so he's getting some back points.
Rhodes trying to put the Mohawks on the board for the first time here in this duel against Waukee.
He's got a lot of pressure on him. Every match so far has either been a pin or a tech fall. We would certainly not expect anything different in this one.
This is our 11th of 14 matches. And a blood timeout here with Rhodes leading Tanner Smith by the score of 5-0. Let's take a 30-second timeout on CISN.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We're at 113 pounds for Mason City, Jace Rhodes leading Waukee's Tanner Smith 5-0 with just a few ticks left in the first period. And our team score is Waukee 59, Mason City 0. The Mohawks without a number of their top wrestlers and having to forfeit some weight classes and dropping the first 10 matches of this duel. But Jace Rhodes trying to get the Mohawks on the board here at 113.
That's right. We are almost to the end of one of the fastest meets in the history of wrestling. So don't go anywhere. It's going to be over here in another match. Right now, we have been wrestling for less than 30 minutes, and we have one match after this one left.
Wow.
Nice double leg there by Rhodes as he dropped Smith right down to his bottom, and now he's working in on a trying to get a near side cradle. Had to switch over. Still has a leg hooked. He doesn't want to give that leg up as he's getting a little bit of help with it, but not enough. He had to let go, and now he's just trying to keep those hips down. Maybe looking at a roll through tilt, but decides, well, we're going neutral. Now he's up 8-1 with a minute to go in the second.
So a couple of takedowns, near fall and an escape, giving Rhodes that 8-1 advantage.
Now it's going to be 10-2. If Rhodes is going to be doing this as quickly, it'll be interesting if the scoreboard can keep up.
Another escape for Smith.
Now it's 10-3.
And stoppage on the man for blood.
Might just be 10-2. I think a couple of escapes for Smith, but a couple of sophomores on the mat here at 113. Mason City will be forfeiting at 120. Thurman Christensen for Waukee, one of the top wrestlers in the state at that weight class, will get his hand raised without having to wrestle in the first duel here tonight.
Correct score, 12-3.
Okay, 12-3.
All right.
Rhodes leading Smith, 12-3.
All right, 12-3. And if he's going to try and continue with this takedown clinic, we'll see if we can keep up. He's in on the double. He switched off to an outside single. He's got that.
Takedown Rhodes,
14-3. Lets him go for one.
Escape for Smith, 14-4.
In on a big, deep double leg again. Very close to another takedown with 15 seconds to go in the second period. He's got it.
More than likely, we won't see him letting him go here. You don't want to give up a point at the end of the period if you don't have to. That's how the second period ends, 16-4 in favor of Rhodes.
113 pounds. Mason City's Rhodes leading Waukee Smith, 16-4.
So the first 10 matches going the way of Waukee. They started with a pin at 138. Dominic Rubino accepted a forfeit at 145 as Colby Schriever of Mason City not in the lineup. Cody Anderson, a pin for Waukee at 152. 160, a tech fall for Jermaine Samler. Tanner Spikesma, another pin for Waukee at 170. Then 3 straight forfeits by Mason City. Matt Kaputska, a pin at heavyweight. And at 106, Elijah Hoffbauer also a pin for the Warriors. So Jace Rhodes, the first chance for Mason City to get some team points here. And he leads this match 16-5. And now 18-5.
18-5.
And he's going to try and see if he can score some back points here to finish it out. Does have had the chicken wing in, but nice job there by Tanner Smith to get rid of it, work his way up to his feet. Rhodes working in on that double leg, gets it done. 20-6, he's got 14 points. Gonna try and do it one more time and put an end to it.
Escape for Smith, 20.
1 minute to get that done, and they're off the edge of the mat.
No additional points.
20-7 is the differential right now. And there is the final right there, 22-7. That's a lot of takedowns.
113 pounds of Mason City, Jace Rhodes.
Jace Rhodes with a tech fall at 113. That makes our score 59-5. Waukee. Thurman Christensen accepting the forfeit for Waukee at 120.
Next up on the mat, 126 pounds. Your winner, Connor Kelly.
As you can hear, Connor Kelly, another forfeit at 126.
Mason City and Waukee at 132 pounds. Connor Weeman, and for the Warriors, Carter Smith.
Junior from Waukee, wrestling the senior from Mason City.
So Mason City giving forfeits at 6 of the 14 weights.
Hence, 71 points by Waukee.
So our final match at 132, Connor Weeman of Mason City, a senior, ranked number 10, and Waukee Carter Smith, a junior. And again, Mason City in that silver singlet with the red lettering on the back and black trim, and that is Connor Weeman getting the takedown.
Nice job on that arm pass by Weeman. Now he's putting a lot of pressure down and forward. Does have that claw working up on the far shoulder. But Carter Smith able to get out and dives right back down in on a single. Good hip control by Weeman. But Smith does a great job of readjusting. Kind of sits through, and he's going to try and work up to a push-pull situation, but stalemate was called.
Hunter Garvin of Iowa City West, the top-ranked wrestler at this weight class. Our final match of our first duel of the night here between Mason City and Waukee. The Mohawks will take on Norwalk. In our second duel, we'll have just a short timeout between this first and second duel coming up here. A good Norwalk team will be on the mat there. 11-1 on the season. Their only loss to Winterset. And they've got their full lineup here. They've managed to stay healthy. And a couple of big duels for them coming up here against Mason City and Waukee.
Yes, weight management and staying injury-free is the key to success, especially if you have the caliber of wrestlers that a Norwalk and a Waukee has at those weights.
4-2 is our match score. Connor Weeman for Mason City trying to give the Mohawks 2 victories here in this dual meet against Waukee. This is our final match.
And again, they were talking about trying to get into the next match or the next meet as quickly as possible, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And some of you might be wondering, well, did they get enough rest time? Usually in a duel, you can start the next one right away because you get that 30-minute period before you get into the next match, before you wrestle again. And right now, we're at 37 minutes.
Wow.
So we're good.
All right. midway through this match at 132, it's Connor Weeman leading Carter Smith of Waukee 4-2. And he's got another takedown, making it 6-2. Originally, this was just supposed to be a duel between Mason City and Waukee, and that's it. But Norwalk, due to the weather, missing some competition this year, placed a call and said, hey, can we come wrestle? And they're here too, so each team will get a couple of matches, or each wrestler for these teams will get a couple of matches, except for some forfeits. End of the second period, our match score 6-3. Connor Weeman leading Carter Smith.
And at the end of the second period, Weeman.
We are right now the match of the night. They saved the best match for the last match.
Yeah, every match thus far has ended in, hasn't gone the distance, basically. Technical fall, or forfeit.
Escape for Weeman, 7-3.
That our 14th and final match may go all the way here. 7-3, Connor Weeman leading.
Nice outside shot there by Carter Smith, but great hip action by Weeman as he is able to lengthen Smith out. Now he just needs to reach back, start pulling hands off the leg before he can spin around and get two, but a stalemate called. If I'm Coach Dusty Rhodes, I'm maybe thinking, that was a little early to call a stalemate, but his wrestler has been in control, even though the score is only 4-point differential.
And here is Weeman very close to another takedown. He's got it. 9-3 now with a minute to go in the match. So Jace Rhodes, the only other wrestler to score a win in this duel for Mason City against Waukee. Connor Weeman looking to put at least 3 more points on the board for the Mohawks in this final match. 30 seconds to go, and nearly another takedown for Weeman, but off the mat, and back to the center we go, both on their feet.
Kind of a futile attempt there by Carter Smith on kind of a lengthy shot, and Weeman just being able to drop down, push his shoulders away, and stay up on their feet. I doubt a lot of action is going to happen here in the last 6 seconds.
This is a heck of a win for Weeman. Carter Smith, a state qualifier last year. Weeman ranked number 10. We should have a really good match at this weight when we see Norwalk and Mason City, as Keaton Moret of Norwalk is ranked number 9. So Weeman with the win by the final of 9-4, and that makes our final score in the duel Waukee 71, Mason City 8. We'll take a timeout here, and we'll be back with another duel between Norwalk and Mason City. This is high school wrestling on CISN.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com. The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
We're about 4 minutes away from the start of our second dual meet of the night that will feature Mason City against Norwalk. Norwalk will serve as the home team, and Mason City just losing to Waukee the final 71-8. We almost set a record, we think, for one of the fastest dual meets ever, Keith.
Yeah, I had us in about 38 minutes.
Wow.
And we're now, according to my very accurate phone, it is 6:16 right now. We're going to be starting here approximately 6:19, probably 6:20 or so when after, because we haven't done introductions or anything like that, and probably won't because we did it before the first meet, and so we get started at 6:20. I'm going to go out on a limb here, Pat, and say we went, 37 minutes on the first one. If we start at 6:20, we should be done by, what time is it? 6:17, 6:20? We'll be done at 7 o'clock.
Wow. All right.
And then we'll take a few minutes and get started on the Waukee Norwalk. That could take a little bit more time.
Yeah, we should have 14 matches in that duel, and many of them may go the distance as it was in that Waukee-Mason City matchup. Only one match went the distance. That was our final match, as all the others involved a pin or a tech fall or a forfeit. Mason City forfeiting 6 of those 14 matches, and almost sure to see that again here against Norwalk. The Warriors coming into this duel with a dual meet record of 11-1. Their only loss this season to Winterset. And Keith, we talked about this a little earlier. This night is a big one for Norwalk because if they could pull off a couple of wins here tonight, they might have a chance at being one of those host schools for the regional duels on February 12th, right?
Absolutely. You know, we talked about this before everything got started, where Norwalk only has the one loss. Unfortunately for them, it's to a 2A school, but a very good 2A school. Mm-hmm. And Norwalk has been wrestling very well. They might not have the same, out of state and across the country matchups and opponents that Waukee has had, and a Bettendorf and Southeast Polk and these teams that are currently in the top 8. But they're a very good team, and if you talk to both head coaches when we, and we'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to Waukee and Norwalk, both of them will say, we're looking at 2 very good teams here. We're both very excited to show what we have, but we're both very nervous because we know what we have, and we want to keep what we have. But Norwalk maybe has that upper hand because they want to jump into it. A little more motivation for Norwalk. We'll see what's going to happen here against Mason City right away. And again, I'm predicting we're going to be done at 7 o'clock with this match.
All right, there you have it. Keith Bornas with the prediction. We're going to start at 145 pounds, and right off the bat, we'll have a forfeit, it would appear, for Mason City. Caden Nunez, a sophomore for Norwalk, will get his hand raised here shortly if we get started on time. And then at 152, we'll have a freshman for Mason City, Ben Lawrence, against Cade Schmidt, the junior for Norwalk. We'll be back with wrestling right after this on CISN.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com. People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Norwalk against Mason City in our second high school wrestling duel tonight here at Waukee High School. And we start at 145 pounds. Caden Nunez of Norwalk accepting a forfeit. So quickly 6-0. The Warriors lead the Mohawks as we move to 152. And for the home team, Norwalk, Cade Schmidt. For Mason City, Ben Lawrence.
47 seconds into the meet here. We're into our second match already. The score table kind of messed things up there, Pat. I had everything planned out, scheduled out, but they had the rest time in between matches a little bit longer than we anticipated. But nonetheless, Cade Schmidt in on a double leg. 152 pounds. Norwalk on top here and has the cradle locked up.
Very close to giving the Warriors a 12-0 lead, and he does.
And your winner by fall at 152 pounds for Norwalk, Cade Schmidt. Schmidt.
So 162, we will now see Ethan Vederick, a senior for Norwalk, ranked at number 6 at this weight class.
Vederick. And from Mason City, Riley Monahan.
Monahan, the junior for the Mohawks. You can see Norwalk in the purple, gold, and white singlets. Mason City in that silver singlet with the black and red trim. Here's a shot by Monahan, but counter and takedown by Vederick, and working on a pin here that could give the Warriors an 18-0 lead after just 3 matches.
Monahan took that shot from 100 yards across the mat, got lengthened out early, and Vederick right there, and has a lot of pressure down there. A deep half and the near arm, and 6 points.
All right. We may, at this rate, top our first match of just 37 minutes. We're already through our first 3 matches here in less than 3 minutes, I think. 18-0 Norwalk as we move to 170.
Next up on the mat at 170 pounds for Norwalk, Nick Marker. And for Mason City, Aiden Colby.
Senior against junior in this match. Colby for Mason City, the senior, and Nick Marker, a junior for Norwalk.
Things starting off for Norwalk just like they did for Waukee, as Nick Marker did a nice sit-through, got that takedown. Now he has him stacked up. We're looking at 6 more points just like that, 24-0 Norwalk, and we are 4 minutes and 20 seconds into this meet.
Wow. So 24-0 Norwalk quickly on top of Mason City, and they're going to add 18 more points here in a hurry. And we'll tell you more about that after this timeout on CISN.
And your winner at 100.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com. People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Norwalk accepting 3 straight forfeits at 182, 195, and 220. And now the Warriors have a 42-0 lead over Mason City as we head to the heavyweight match. And Keith, a bit unusual here to see a couple of 285-pound kids on the mat, a freshman and a sophomore in Class 3A at heavyweight.
Yeah, but both pretty athletic kids as well. That's the other thing about it. These guys being as big as they are, as young as they are, and being able to control their bodies like this, we're seeing more and more kids coming up that have been wrestling for a while, that have good body control at younger ages. And, yeah, not your typical 285-pound guys.
For Norwalk, it's Maddox Borcherdine Johnson. He's the freshman. And for Mason City, Carter Gorder, a sophomore. Gorder in that gray or silver singlet with the black and red trim. No score here, just over a minute into the first period. But as I say that, Borcherdine Johnson with a takedown.
He's doing a nice job applying forward and downward pressure as he's got a half. He's going to look to pull that near ankle up. He's got it. And the freshman looking to end it as he does. 6 more for Norwalk.
And your winner.
And so that makes our score 48-0. Norwalk after the first 8 matches.
Or 7 minutes and 15 seconds of the meet.
Amazing. Let's listen to the introductions here.
And for Norwalk, Trent Harper.
All right, so it will be Paul Fabian, a freshman for Mason City, Trent Harper, the sophomore for Norwalk at 106.
And again, freshman and a sophomore.
Take down Harper.
Harper in quickly on a heel pick. And he got 2 back points as well to go up 4-0 in the first 15 seconds.
Ryder Block of Waverly Shellrock has been ranked number 1 at this weight. A pin for Trent Harper of Norwalk. And moving right along here in this second duel of the night. It's now 54-0 Norwalk as we move to 113.
I'm pretty sure, all things going through here, Mr. Rhodes did not get off the mat 30 minutes ago. It's been a little less than that. But he looks like he's right back where he was. Nice duck under takedown as Rhodes goes up 2-0 over McKenzie.
Jace Rhodes, one of the top-ranked wrestlers in the state, Class 3A at 113 pounds. We watched him score a technical fall in his first match tonight, beating Tanner Smith of Waukee 22-7.
Nice job on that roll-through tilt. Got 2 more points to go up 4-0.
Jace Rhodes, the son of Mason City coach Dusty Rhodes. Jace, as a freshman, finished 2nd in the state at 106, losing to Trevor Anderson of Ankeny in the state championship match. And that is one of his 4 losses this year, also to Trevor Anderson of Ankeny. But Rhodes leading this match 4-0. A minute 10 into the first period.
Trying to load those hips again, maybe get a roll through. But McKenzie ready for it. As he is able to, as McKenzie was ready for it, worked his way up to his feet. Rhodes working in for another takedown. Going to go up 6-1.
20 seconds to go in the first period. It lets McKenzie escape there. And now very close to another takedown. He's got it.
Nice job on that front headlock and into a knee block by Rhodes. He still has the butcher scenario here, but he's not going to get anything done here with the last 3 seconds of the period. McKenzie had the choice there. He deferred to Rhodes. Rhodes says, hey, I'm pretty good on my feet. I'll start there. In on a double leg and has him taken down right away for 2. Keeping that arm. And he is working on back points and maybe looking to end this. Oh.
McKenzie able to roll through, though.
Nice job by McKenzie. So far tonight, only 1 match has gone the distance. And we're looking at 15-2 here. 2 more back points or a pin, and Rhodes is going to be done. He's going to be done as he ends up getting the pin with 1:20 to go in the second period.
Jace Rhodes getting Mason City on the board. Our score now, Norwalk 54, Mason City 6.
11 minutes and 20 seconds into the meet.
Wow.
Your winner at 120 pounds, Donovan Carr.
Another forfeit at 120. going Norwalk's way.
126 pounds, Mason City with an open weight. Your winner, Grant Harbor.
Grant Harbor for Norwalk accepting a forfeit at 126.
Next up, 132 pounds. For Mason City, Connor Lehman, and for Norwalk, Keaton Moret.
This should be a good one, Keith. A couple of top 10 ranked wrestlers here at 132.
And it was Connor Weeman, who was the only wrestler from Mason City that went the distance. And yes, this is going to be, should be an exciting match, as both of them are kind of trying to get a feel for each other right now, dancing around.
So we've had 26 wrestling matches tonight, and 25 of them have ended early in a fall, forfeit, or technical fall. So here we are at 132 pounds. Keaton Moret, ranked number 9 at this weight for Norwalk. He finished 4th at the state tournament last year, and Connor Weeman, ranked number 10, a senior for the Mohawks.
Nice attempt there by Norwalk wrestler Keaton Moret, as he was trying to work his way into a heel pick, but Weeman really did a great job fighting that off.
40 seconds to go in the first period, no score.
You know things are moving fast when you're almost done with 2 varsity duels and the JVs are still wrestling. Nice scramble there. No points given up yet.
5 seconds to go.
Got the 2.
Moret.
And he needs to be pretty satisfied with getting that. That was a great flurry. And Moret able to finish that with a cradle. He just wasn't able to, didn't have enough time to try and get Weeman turned. Moret starting in the down position. Does a nice Granby into a switch. The switch wasn't there, but he was able to duck under. Got the takedown, and there's an escape, so it is 4-1 in favor of Moret.
And these wrestlers both ranked in the top 10 at 132 pounds, class 3A. And it's Keaton Moret, who's ranked number 9, again placed 4th at state last year, has a 4-1 lead over Weeman of Mason City.
Did a nice job going for that outside single, but he was able to try and block that off. He has a double leg attempt here going. He's going to have to scoot a little bit. Great scramble. Now Weeman kind of in control. Good hip action there by Moret. Does a heel pick.
Moret.
Nice heel
Good
pick.
Counter, yeah.
Wow.
And now has a 6-1 lead with about 30 seconds to go in the second period. Good flurry there between the two wrestlers.
That is great recognition by Moret, knowing that he had a lot of pressure on him. He was they were both getting their hips sunk down, and Weeman's head was starting to come down. Did a heel pick. Wonderful, wonderful wrestling there.
And keeps Weeman on the mat for the final 30 seconds. So one key point in this match is Moret getting the takedown late in the first period, not allowing any points from Weeman. And now here in the second period, a takedown and not letting his opponent up. So
No.
6-1.
Nice job there by Moritz stopping that sit out by Weeman. Weeman is going to start down in the third. Weeman working up to his feet, and Moritz allows him to go. Was going to dive in as a double leg there before Weeman had a chance to turn around, but Weeman was kind of ready for it. Got a double underhook and almost had a toss.
So we've had 26. This is our 27th match of the night, and only 2 of those matches appear to be going the distance, and Weeman has been involved in both of them.
Great flurry again by both wrestlers. Weeman in on the double leg now, but Mort in on the double leg. Weeman had a great effort on a crossface, but didn't get it done. Mort's going to have to get turned here and get his ankle free, or they're going to call a stalemate. He is improving his position, so it's not getting called yet. And
There's
2 points. And he also has that crossface in. Going to try and roll out of bounds here and control. So Weeman still in the down position.
Couple of tough matches here tonight for Mason City's Connor Weeman. He won, beating Carter Smith of Waukee 9-4, and now trailing this one 8-3 with 35 seconds to go.
You have to really be impressed with what Morit is able to do tonight against his ranked opponent. Tried to take a quick shot. Weeman ready to go with that. Had a nice counter. Stopped his progression and back up on their feet.
Just 10 seconds left in this match at 132. Keaton Morit looking to give Waukee a 69-6 lead headed to the final match.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is 19 minutes and 10 seconds into this meet, and we are now into the final match of the night.
And this will feature Landon Card against Seth Eilenfeld.
Our final match, 138 pounds for Norwalk, Landon Card, and for Mason City, Seth Eilenfeld.
Junior against sophomore here at 138 pounds. Again, our final match of this duel between Norwalk and Mason City.
We did not see Landon's brother wrestle. Donovan Card was at 120 pounds, but that was open for Mason City.
Takedown for Card, escape Eilenfeld, 2-1 here early in this match at 138. A lot of good matches coming up in our final duel of the night between Norwalk and Waukee.
And when we talk to the coaches, we can talk a little bit about this in a moment. Both coaches thinking there's going to be bonus points. So where they're good, there's bonus points to be had by both teams. And then it's going to come to those toss-up matches. See who's going to be able to get this done.
Another takedown for Card. He will give the intentional release to Eilenfeld, making it 4-2 with 50 seconds to go in the first period.
Kind of a slow-moving shot there by Card. Now they're into the over-under scenario, and Card did a great job there. Ends up having a toss, And there is a lot of pressure with 15 seconds to go.
A lot of fight by Eilenfeld, though. He gets off his back, and now Landon Card will take a 9-2 lead to the second period.
At the end of the first period, 138 pounds, Card leading Eilenfeld 9-2.
Nice thing about Mason City coming down and being able to wrestle the first two matches, or the first two meets, they're going to be able to get on the bus and make that 2-hour trek back home. The interesting thing about it, however, is
Do they have
they
any
will
JV
be
matches left?
Yeah, they got to get their JV matches finished up, but they will have been on the mat for less than an hour and in the bus
over 4 hours.
over 4. Minute to go here in the second period, 11-2, and Card looking to add more.
Halfway through this match at 138, our final match of this duel between Norwalk and Mason City, with the Warriors leading 69-6. The only win for Mason City coming at 113. Jace Rhodes, a pin for the Mohawks.
Eilenfeld really doing a great job staying off his back there. He had a double underhook, or chicken wing, excuse me, put on him, and he came way out of that situation, giving up no extra points. And, yeah, he's just been putting together a great fight. Unfortunately, he's still down 11-2. He's got another period to go.
Cullen and Colby Shriver both out of the lineup for Mason City tonight, just battling back from some injuries. And in case you missed that earlier, the Shriver brothers going to wrestle at Iowa. Cullen ranked number 1 at 126. Colby ranked number 3 at 145. So a couple of really good wrestlers for the Mohawks not in the lineup tonight. 11-2 our score here. Landon Card beating Seth Eilenfeld in our final match between the Warriors and the Mohawks. And stay tuned for our final duel between Norwalk and Waukee.
Card working that chicken wing, and he's looking for the far wrist. Now he's switching over to a half. Trying to drive through it, but Eilenfeld putting together a nice nice job with his flexibility. That's taken on a lot of torque, but now he's got a cross-face cradle on him. And again, nothing.
Yeah, not quite able to lock it up, so he'll just let Eilenfeld go. The intentional release makes it 11-3. 45 seconds to go in our final match. And we may have a third match out of 28 to go the distance here.
26 minutes into this meet.
Takedown Card 13-3.
With 20 seconds to go, this duel is going to be the quickest I have ever seen.
Wow.
Under 27 minutes.
So Mason City forfeiting 6 of the matches here tonight and losing, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 others by fall. And then Mason City also scoring a pin as we finish this dual meet under 27 minutes. 13-3 our final Landon Card, a winner here for Norwalk. making our final score 72-6. Norwalk beating Mason City. We'll take a timeout and be back with more high school wrestling coverage as we've got another duel coming up between Norwalk and Waukee. This is high school wrestling on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com. The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore. It's cold outside and that means it's fireplace season. And you need one of the brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. They're the perfect retrofit for that old wood-burning fireplace that you're not using. You get beautiful flames, you get heat, you get easy operation, and they're all brand new Heat and Glow gas fireplace inserts. Please come see us, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Our final score between Norwalk and Mason City, the Warriors beating the Mohawks 69-6. Mason City giving up 6 forfeits in that match. The only win for the Mohawks at 113 pounds. Jace Rhodes, a pin for Mason City. The pins for Norwalk coming at 106, Trent Harper. Also, Cade Schmidt at 152, Ethan Vederick at 160, Nick Marker, a pin for the Warriors at 170, and also Maddox Borchardine Johnson, the freshman, a pin at 285. So a long trip down here for Mason City to lose a couple of lopsided duels, Keith.
But to two really impressive teams. And now we're going to see, when this thing gets started, we're going to see legitimately 2 top 10 teams. It's just that Norwalk really hasn't had an opportunity to show what they're made of yet because they just haven't had the same caliber opponents. And so I'm very interested to see how this one's going to end up. And we're starting at 152 pounds. Yeah, both teams, number one, they want to win their matches, but they also want to. They both want to not only win their matches, but they also want to make sure that they get bonus points. And my apologies for a pause there, but we were listening to the announcement that my prediction is kind of right, where they said they're not going to start before 7 o'clock, but I'm assuming they will begin as close to 7 as they can. So we have 6 or 7 minutes here before we have wrestling.
All right. 2 of the top teams in Class 3A going head-to-head here in a varsity dual meet at Waukee High School. It's Warriors against Warriors. Norwalk against Waukee. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. More high school wrestling on the way here on CISN.
Central Bank, Proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes central bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com. People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
More high school wrestling coming up here shortly from Waukee High School. A battle of the Warriors tonight here on a purple mat. And these two teams, Norwalk and Waukee, sharing basically the same team colors and team nickname. We'll try to keep them straight, but it should be a good one. Keith Bornis, a couple of the top two teams in Class 3A.
And it's not like they're not familiar with each other. They, before Waukee made the jump to 3A in wrestling and 4A in the other sports and 5A in some of the girl sports, Norwalk and Waukee had some great head-to-heads back when they were in the same conference, kind of working their way together. And now Norwalk enrollment continuing to increase, and so yeah, two school districts that are certainly not unfamiliar with each other, and two great wrestling programs, wrestling traditions that are going to go head to head here for the first time this year.
And these two teams were not scheduled to really meet in a dual meet this year, but they are tonight, kind of a last-minute deal, if you will.
Which kind of gives Norwalk a much better they have the benefit tonight. They really do. Waukee is already in that top 8 positions. They're currently ranked 7th. With a win tonight, they can probably continue to stay in that. But Norwalk is in that situation. If they can pull out a victory here over Waukee, that's going to really, especially with their record of being now 12-1, that's really going to give them a boost as far as where they're going to stack up in the dual teams. And with all of that, even if they don't come away with a victory tonight, if they can keep it close, if they can show the state that, yes, we can compete with those top 8 teams, and then they finish out the season well, who knows where they'll land. But both teams here really wanting to come away with a victory as the season starts to hit that. We're coming into the home stretch and getting set for the dual team regional, and then teams going into their conference meets, the district meets for the traditional. This is going to be one of those meets that could really take some a team like Norwalk that is on the cusp and get them the motivation they want and need to continue on, and also a team like Waukee to kind of solidify, hey, we are one of those top tier teams.
The girls' state high school wrestling tournament is tomorrow at Waverly Shell Rock, and during our last break, real neat thing happened here before the crowd. Waukee coach Chad Volmecki introducing 3 Waukee wrestlers that will be competing tomorrow.
Yes, one is a defending place winner at the girls' state wrestling tournament. The other 2 in it for the first time, and they're very excited to head up there and get some wrestling done.
Is this the sorry to put you on the spot, is this the second year for the
second
girls?
year of the girls' state wrestling tournament?
Really neat. I don't know how many, I'm wondering how many competitors will be there this year as compared to last year.
I was watching on track wrestling, I was watching a tournament kind of unfold, and there are several teams out there that have a girls wrestling program, and so I'm guessing there's going to be quite a few wrestlers up there tomorrow.
All right, again, that's the girls' state wrestling tournament tomorrow at Waverly Shell Rock. We're starting this duel between Norwalk and Waukee at 152 pounds.
And for the Waukee Warriors,
and just listening to who will be introduced here, make sure we have the right wrestlers. Probably not a lot of jockeying between the coaches, moving wrestlers up and down. They're pretty certain to stay with their lineup that they put on paper. And that is the case in our first match. Cody Anderson for Waukee and Cade Schmidt for Norwalk at 152. That's where we're starting. And Cody Anderson for Waukee ranked number 3 in the state at 152. We saw him score a pin earlier tonight in that duel against Mason City.
One of the things that Cody Anderson would really like to do tonight is not only would he like to get a win, but he'd like to get a big win and try and get Waukee excited and to help feed off the energy of a quick win or a big win, and see if they can keep the momentum going all night.
And this should be a tight duel between these two teams, so bonus points will obviously be a big factor in the outcome. Cody Anderson, as we said, ranked number 3 at 152, among the top wrestlers at this weight. Caleb Corbin of West Des Moines Valley, a junior, and Eli Lloyd of Pleasant Valley.
2 point.
Nice job there on that takedown by Cody Anderson. Schmidt did everything he could to try and keep things from progressing forward and wanted to get into a stalemate, but Anderson able to finish that out, take a 2-0 lead with 40 seconds to go in the first.
That's Keith Bornas. I'm Pat Curtis. Thanks for tuning in for high school wrestling here on CISN. This is our third duel of the night as Waukee beat Mason City 71-8, and then Norwalk beating Mason City 72-6. Now Norwalk and Waukee going head-to-head here. We're just underway at our first match, 152 pounds, and a 2-0 lead for Cody Anderson.
And if you were going to pencil this out and say, oh, okay, Waukee won 71-8 and Norwalk won 72-6, you'd say it's going to be a pretty close match tonight. And already into the first match of this meet, they have been on the mat longer than the first three matches of the previous two meets.
And as we head to the second period, it's Waukee's Cody Anderson leading Norwalk's Cade Schmidt 2-0.
I am not anticipating either team reaching the 70-point mark in this duel.
No. And we're also not anticipating any forfeits in this duel. We had 12 open weights for Mason City in those first two duels. 3-0 now, Anderson with the escape.
And a nice duck under into a single leg.
And he hooks that leg. Getting closer to a takedown, but quite a fight here by Cade Schmidt on the edge of the mat. No points yet.
Schmidt doing a nice job keeping him tied up. Has the whizzer in, but Anderson working that head up, and he does get 2 points.
5-0.
Works his way forward, going to work on a half Nelson, but outside the ring, and they're going to start in the middle. 5-0 in favor of Anderson. But he shows the official that he's wanting to do kind of an international start there.
Escape for Schmidt, 5-1.
Waukee led by Coach Chad Volnecki, 16 years he's led the Warriors. On the other side of the mat, Brandon Schmitz, coaching Norwalk, his 8th year. And Norwalk now a record of 12-1 in dual meets after that victory over Mason City earlier tonight. Waukee, not quite sure on their record. I know they've lost at least 8 or 9 duels. Again, we talked earlier about some real difficult competition this year for Waukee. And this duel against Norwalk ranks right up there as far as difficulty goes.
It does. It really does. Not necessarily ranking for ranking, but anybody that's been following wrestling knows that this is going to be, has the potential to be a very, very tightly contested duel.
And our first match here of the night at 152 is Cody Anderson leading Cade Schmidt by the score of 5-1. 20 seconds left to go in the second period.
Both wrestlers really pushing into each other, but you can see their hips kind of going up and down as they start to feel when they're pushing too hard, and they got to drop their hip and keep their center of gravity from going too far forward.
Cody Anderson will take a 5-1 lead into the final period at 152.
Anderson leading Schmidt 5-1.
Schmidt in the down position here to start the third.
Escape for Schmidt, 5-2.
Anderson doing a real nice job keeping the offense going. Schmidt not backing away. He's had some nice arm counters and able to prevent multiple takedowns here. Anderson has the 2 takedowns and an escape. And Schmidt has 2 escapes. And Schmidt just called for stalling. He's been warned. Now he's going to get a caution for jumping the whistle. Nice job trying to elevate that shoulder and drop down to the outside single. Anderson able to switch that off to the double, but Schmidt doing a great job keeping his feet back and dropping his hips down, pushing Anderson's shoulders away as they go out of bounds.
One minute left in our first match of the night at 152. Cody Anderson holding a 5-2 lead over Cade Schmidt.
And Schmidt just called for stalling again. That's going to give up a point, penalty point. So Anderson goes up 6-2. And nobody arguing it. Neither side arguing it, as Anderson has been on the offense predominantly throughout this match as he ducks down into a single leg. Schmidt doing a nice job, dropping his hip, putting some pressure on. As Anderson continues to try and adjust, switching from outside single to inside single.
"15 seconds left.
Now switches off to a double leg. But Schmidt doing a great job, putting pressure on the head, keeping it low. And that's where we're going to end.
So the first match of the night at 152 going the way of Waukee. Final score of 6-2.
Waukee, Cody Anderson.
So that makes our team score Waukee 3, Norwalk 0. And this should be a good one at 160. We'll make sure we'll listen and see who's introduced here.
160 pounds, scheduled for Norwalk, Ethan Vederick. And for Waukee, Jermaine Sandler.
All right, Ethan Vederick for Norwalk, ranked number 6 at this weight class, and Jermaine Sandler, a state qualifier last year for Waukee.
This is one of those matches tonight that Waukee really wants Sandler to be able to hold his own and wrestle well. But Norwalk, they're actually looking to try and get some bonus points here. First time really having a look at Norwalk wrestling this year. We have watched Waukee, and Sandler has shown great progression throughout the year. But Vederick, nice job switching from the double to a single and moving around to get the takedown, then letting Sandler up 2-1. Minute 20 to go in the first.
Vederick and Sandler both had, well, I should say Vederick had a fall in his first match of the night, while Sandler had a tech fall against the wrestler from Mason City. Sandler with a little bit of a shot, but front headlock here for Vederick, trying to work around and score a second takedown here in the first period.
Really nice job as he used his head to make sure that Sandler was not able to move that arm back around to try and get a whizzer on. Kept his head low, and he just kept moving around as he was able to drop his elbow and block Sandler's leg. Now Vederick was working on a chicken wing to a half.
20 seconds to go in the opening period at 160. This is our second match of this duel between Norwalk and Waukee.
right there on the edge of the mat. Samler trying to get an escape, but Vederick doing a nice job dropping down to the ankle and did not give up any points there to end the period.
You mentioned Vederick ranked number 6 at this weight class. Caleb Helgeson of Johnston has been ranked number 1, along with Nick Bonato of Indianola in there at the top spot, and other wrestlers ahead of Vederick from Linn-Mar, North Scott, and Dallas Center Grimes. So Vederick, no doubt a senior, hoping to get on the place winner stand at 160 at the state tournament coming up next month. Another takedown for Ethan.
That was an impressive flurry as Samler had the outside single and was ready to go, had some good pressure, was working to try and get Vederick down. Vederick hipped through and rolled Samler all the way down to his back, but did not get any back points, just scored the takedown. He does have the far arm, and now he's working on the near side half. And if he gets him turned, it's going to be tight. Samler doing a nice job switching his hips.
We're halfway through the match, a 6-2 lead for Ethan Vederick over Jermaine Samler of Waukee at 160.
Vederick still has that chicken wing on the far side. Now he has the near side wrist. Trying to keep things tight, maybe try and get a run here. He does step over. No back points yet, no counting. And now the points begin. Samler's going to want to try and drop his hips and lift his head. Vederick getting awful
very
close.
Close to a pin now. 7 seconds to go in the second period. It looks like Samler will stay alive to make it to the third period here, but 3 near fall for Ethan Vederick, making our score 9-2, and so now Norwalk thinking about bonus points here in this second match of the night.
Vederick has been very potent here on in the neutral position. Samler, a very good wrestler and a good technician in his own right.
3 takedowns for Vederick in the opening 2 periods, and now adding a 4th.
So he has the major as it stands right now, but he certainly wants to build on that as for Norwalk to make a statement. They're going to need as many bonus points tonight as they can get.
Vederick nearly getting the pin there at the end of the second period. And he's trying to run that again with the chicken wing, and he's got it tight again. This is the same position Samler was in there at the end of the second period.
And he's got his hips down, Vederick does, as he's trying to sit through there. His head's coming up, putting a lot of pressure, trying to drop that shoulder back down, getting close.
A minute to go in the match, 50 seconds to go. And Vederick hanging on tight here, getting, he's got the 3 near fall. Trying to get those shoulder blades pinned to the mat.
Give Samler a lot of credit. He's got a great fight going, but he's going to have to get an arm free, because holding on for 30 more seconds is not going to be that easy. He got his arm free.
3 back points awarded for Vederick. 14-2.
And was that stopped?
Potentially dangerous.
All right. So 3 near fall for Vederick makes it 14-2. 20 seconds to go in the match.
Escape to Samler, 14-3.
Samler in on a nice attempt at a shot. He's got him up off his feet, and he's able to bring him down. 14-5.
Credit CIML for not giving up there at the end, and but Vederick with the first points on the board for Norwalk, and it's a major decision, 14-5, our final at 160. And so our team score is Norwalk 4, Waukee 3.
170 pounds for Norwalk, Nick Marker. For the Warriors, Tanner Spikesma.
170, it's a junior against sophomore here. Marker, the junior for Norwalk, and Tanner Spikesma for Waukee.
Here's one of those matches where Norwalk would like to come away with naturally the win and maybe a bonus point or two, but Spikesma in early on a outside single, or inside single, excuse me.
Marker and Spikesma both scored pins in their earlier matches tonight against Mason City, the Mason City wrestler.
Nice job by Spikesma as he had the takedown, but Marker did not give up that chicken wing, or the whizzer, excuse me. But Spikesma did not give up on anything there. Was able to finish the takedown. Goes up 2-0. And putting some pressure on.
A couple other wrestlers from the Central Iowa area are ranked number 1 and number 2 at this weight class. Logan Niels of Ankeny Centennial, Mickey Griffith of Des Moines Lincoln. As Tanner Spikesma of Waukee holds a 2-1 lead over Nick Marker of Norwalk here. 35 seconds to go in the first period.
Marker's going to have to be in a situation where he takes a shot there. That's going to keep him from getting any stall calls as he was working back in a retreating position. And Spikesma doing a nice job lifting the ankle, but too high.
Spikesma getting out of position, and Marker taking advantage of it. He's got a headlock tight.
And it's tight. Right there on the edge. He's holding on with 4, 3, 2, 1, and he survives it.
I can't believe that wasn't a pin. It really looked like he was flat. But Spikesma stays alive for the second period, but now trailing 6-2.
Spikesma in the down position here to start the second period. Works his way to his feet, but Marker does a nice job returning him. The top wrestler, when the underneath guy gets up to his feet, he has to return him in a timely fashion or he gets called for stalling. That's why you see a lot of times if there's a wrestler they get up on their feet and nothing's happening, they actually start to let people go.
Oh my goodness.
Marker living dangerously there, almost pinned himself.
Marker almost, right on his back, but then able to put Spikesma on his back, but no points for either wrestler in that exciting exchange. 1:10 to go in the second period. Marker has ridden Spikesma for the first 50 seconds here of the second period, but now an escape. Making it 6-3, Marker.
Nice shot attempt there by Spikesma. Marker has that whizzer on. Both guys aware of where they are on the mat.
And Spikesma locking up the head, and he's got, oh my goodness, that could have been a pin.
Both of these guys living off their backs.
What a comeback by Tanner Spikesma, getting a takedown and back points, taking a 7-6 lead, and now putting Marker on his back again. Just 10 seconds left, and now Marker rolls through, and Spikesma in trouble. 5 seconds left, and a pin.
And a pin.
definitely our most exciting match of the night here at 170 pounds. A pin for Nick Marker after Tanner Spikesma almost got a pin himself for Waukee. So suddenly Norwalk with a 10-3 lead after match number 3, and we move to 182, where we'll have Tristan Duncan, a junior for Norwalk, against Griffin Gamble, a sophomore for Waukee. So Tanner Spikesma had a 7-6 lead when Nick Marker scored that pin.
Well, we're not 100% sure what the score was. There was a lot of points in that flurry. It's just when the rolling stopped, Marker ended up on top.
And again, Norwalk now leading Waukee 10-3 after 3 matches here. We started at 152, and Cody Anderson scoring a 6-2 decision over Cade Schmidt. Ethan Vederick got Norwalk on the board with a 14-5 win over Jermaine Samler, and now Nick Marker a pin at 170 for Norwalk, and we're up to 182. Duncan against Gamble.
Gamble has had the offense going here, but Duncan has done a fantastic job fending everything off with good hip pressure. He had a nice crossface there. We've watched Gamble wrestle several times this year, and he's had a lot of success.
Yeah, he's ranked number 2 at this weight, but here's Duncan with a single leg trying to step through. A good balance there by Gamble, no points. And Gamble now trying to come out on top. 20 seconds to go in the first period.
Duncan maybe holding on here for a stalemate call, which he gets.
Stalemate call. Stalemate. No points.
Griffin Gamble, one of the few bright spots for Waukee in that dual meet we saw against Southeast Polk. Gamble had a late takedown to beat number 3 Justin Brindley. Brindley ranked number 3 at the time.
Nice job there by Gamble with a duck under and getting the takedown at the end of the period there. 2-0 going into the second, and Gamble is in the down position to start it.
Gamble, a state qualifier last year for the Waukee Warriors. And he now leads 3-0.
3-0.
Duncan doing everything he can to just kind of make sure that this ends up being a 3-point match. Trying to fend off anything that's crazy coming from Gamble.
Yeah, this is definitely a match that the Waukee side is pointing to, thinking they can get some bonus points.
And Gamble working a hard crossface there. Duncan fights it off as they roll out of bounds. Well, slide.
Gamble, just a sophomore, ranked number 2 in the state at 182 pounds. Leading here 5-0, nearly halfway through this match against Tristan Duncan of Norwalk.
Great pressure as Gamble is driving forward and down. He's going to try and get that arm brought up onto his back. He's pulling hard on it. Does not get it done on that attempt. Now he has it. Duncan brings his hips up and back down. Gamble's going to have to use that arm as he switches over to a half. "20 seconds to go here in the second. No points given.
Gamble getting closer to some back points, but no signal from the official, and Griffin Gamble will take a 5-0 lead into the third period.
Coach Schmitz was over there talking in the official's ear, reminding him where the arm placement needed to be, but nothing called. With 1:55 to go in this pretty entertaining match.
If you're just joining us, Waukee wearing the black singlets with the white trim on the leg. That's Griffin Gamble in that Waukee singlet. Getting another takedown. Norwalk in their purple, gold, and white singlets. So 7-0 now, Gamble on top. His third takedown of the match.
Trying to get some bonus points here that Waukee, as of right now, certainly needs to get. And from Norwalk's side, doing everything they can to stop it.
Escape for Duncan, 7-1.
A stall warning also called on Duncan, but he gets the one escape, as Gamble will try and get the bonus points from the feet, it appears, with 50 seconds to go in the match.
He's got a good solid underhook there as he drops down to the high crotch, switches off to the double and finishes it out there. 9-1, he's got the 8 points. Duncan's hearing from his coach right now. He needs to get one to keep it a 3-point match. He also has a stall warning against him, so the next one would result in another point. So he's got 18 seconds to get an escape. But Gamble, as we have seen all year, riding tough.
So it looks like Gamble will get the bonus point, and that will turn our team score into Norwalk 10, Waukee 7. After the 9-1 win for Griffin Gamble at 182. So each team winning a couple of matches in our first 4 bouts. Norwalk getting the pin at 170. That's why they have this 10-7 edge headed to 195. Cole Spikesma for Waukee, Jason Kritzler for Norwalk.
Spikesma in on that low single, but he got elongated. And Kritzler doing a nice job working the legs. Spikesma right back into position, brings it up. Going to try and work that high finish, which he does. Nicely done.
And off the bat, no points.
So we're going to start fresh in the middle again. Kritzler in the down position. He's also down 2-0. 1:20 left in the first.
Cole Spikesma, a senior. We saw his cousin, Tanner, wrestle earlier at 170.
In that flurry match.
Crazy match where Tanner almost had his opponent pinned, but then got pinned himself.
Yeah, both wrestlers had each other on their backs 2 or 3 different times. It's just that's where somebody got caught.
And pretty flat. I mean, it could have been called earlier. But the official has a much closer look than we do from up here.
And the final look.
Yes. Cole Spikesma 2-0 lead with 35 seconds to go in the first period here at 195.
And for those of you wondering where we're at time-wise, we're 33 minutes into this meet. So this duel taking longer, coming into the 5th match than the others did for all matches.
Yeah, Mason City not bringing a full lineup here, a full varsity lineup. They might be home by the time this one's done. But they did forfeit 6 matches in both of the duels against Norwalk and Waukee. Norwalk beating Mason City 72-6, and Waukee beating Mason City 71-8. And now we're in our 5th match between Norwalk and Waukee, and headed to the second period. It is Cole Spikesma leading Jason Kritzler 2-1.
So there's been 4 matches that have gone so far. Each team has won 2 of them. It's 10-7, and in the 5th one, it's 2-1. That is a very tight match, a tight duel. Again, Norwalk working so hard this year, 12-1 on the season. They want to come in and show the state and everybody else that what they're capable of as a team for both the duel and to see how they maybe stack up as we start thinking about the traditional state meet as well.
Spikesma with an escape, now leading 3-1. Yeah, a lot of teams will have another dual meet possibly next week, and then getting ready for the regional duel on February 12th.
Both wrestlers here really pushing into each other. They've had a couple of snap downs. Spikesma had a heel pick set up, but he just didn't have the reach or didn't have quite enough pressure on that foot of Kritzler. So we're still looking at a 3-1 score with 30 seconds to go in the second. Good attempt there on an arm pass by Kritzler, but forgot to grab the leg.
So Cole Spikesman with a 3-1 lead headed to the third period. We're at 195 pounds. The top-ranked wrestler in the state at this weight class, Gabe Christensen of Southeast Polk, who has really dominated competition this entire season.
Yeah, he was fun to watch when we were over there for Polk and Waukee.
And Gabe Christensen, another would-be Iowa Hawkeye, has lost a match this year to the number 1 ranked wrestler in the nation at that weight class, a wrestler from Missouri. And Spikesma riding tough here to open the third period, still leading 3-1. I believe Kritzler has been given a stall warning. He now gets an escape, so it's only 3-2. It feels like Spikesma has kind of had control of this match, but it's very close.
Kritzler almost gave up 2 points there. He was getting word from his coaching staff and forgot that he was on the match. He is tired. He's going to have to keep moving forward or he's going to give up a point with the stall call. A takedown could win it for either wrestler.
Both of these wrestlers accepting forfeits earlier tonight against Mason City, so this is their one and only match tonight. And it's a good one, 3-2 here. Spikesma leading Kritzler. And Spikesma in on a shot and deep. And a takedown. That should seal a victory for Waukee, but anything could happen here in the final 30 seconds, as we've seen earlier tonight.
Kritzler did a nice job trying to get that whizzer on, and he had it, but lost his leg position and bailed out before Spikesman had a chance to run the half Nelson on it.
18 seconds left to go in this match at 195. Spikesma scoring a couple of takedowns. in this match, and looks like he'll come out on top and tie this duel up at 10. Cole Spikesma a winner by the score of 5-2. Back with the 220-pound match after this on CISN.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Cale Thorson for Waukee, ranked number 7 at this weight class, 220 pounds, and he's taking on Hunter Blomgren, the sophomore from Norwalk. And we're tied at 10 in this dual meet after the first 5 matches.
And the stopwatch out the window as 40 minutes have passed already.
2-point takedown for Thorson.
Thorson looking for a pin here at 220.
He still has it.
Now he's got it a lot tighter.
Maybe sit through here for a headlock. Didn't need to.
Got those arms tied up, makes it real tough to to bridge.
Yes.
By fall at 220 pounds.
Some points that Waukee really felt they were going to get, needed to make sure they had, and they got them by the senior, Cale Thorson. Waukee up 16-10 as we head here into the heavyweight.
All right, the heavyweights, a freshman against a junior. Maddox Vorchadine Johnson for Norwalk and Matt Kaputska, the junior for Waukee.
And, you know, we've been pretty impressed with the freshman out of Norwalk. He's got great feet, good balance, and he actually is favored in this bout. Now it's just a question of how many points can he get, as he's got that half Nelson in, and he just keeps spinning around the corner. Lift the near side ankle or knee, and he's got him down on his back. Might tie this thing up.
Impressive.
And he does.
And your winner by fall at 285 pounds for Norwalk, Maddox Vorchadine Johnson.
So this duel is tied once again at 16 as we flip to 106 pounds, and it'll be Trent Harper against Elijah Hoffbauer. Harper, a sophomore for Norwalk, Hoffbauer, a junior for Waukee.
This being one of those key matches for tonight. But you could honestly look at it and say everything's been a key match. Well done there by Harper, as he's going to get one. Now it's just a question of whether or not he can get two instead of the one. He's got Hoffbauer out there on the edge of the mat, trying to work him in. He's working that front headlock. Nice job by the official waiting to see what was going to end up happening.
So Harper gets the escape after the takedown by Hoffbauer. Waverly Shellrock's Ryder Block has been ranked number 1, the freshman at 106.
Hoffbauer in, looking to potentially get a pin here.
Yeah.
Harper kind of hanging out in a bad spot. somehow there was no points given because there was no takedown at the time. There could have been a pin, but no back points. Hoffbauer does get awarded a 2-point takedown now as they slide off the mat, and he's up 4-1. But we've seen Harper do some nice things in a flurry as Coach Schmitz is coming over to ask about
should that
something.
have been a takedown?
Yeah. Coach Wilmecki standing close just in case he needs to weigh in on things and decides, nope, I'm good.
So Hoffbauer does get awarded the 2, or keeps the 2, and leads 4-1 here with 17 seconds to go in the first period.
Hoffbauer riding pretty square right there and putting a lot of hip pressure down. And Hoffbauer is going to have his choice here in the second. Hoffbauer chooses down. See what kind of a ride Harper is able to put on here. Does a nice job going all the way across the body to that far ankle to keep Hoffbauer down. Had a spiral ride on and actually has a pseudo spiral. He's switching sides with it. So he's got good pressure. What he's not doing is he's not running his hips hard enough to the side to break the hips of Hoffbauer down. He's leaning, but he's not running those hips. Hoffbauer up and out.
Just about exactly halfway through this dual meet. The team score tied at 16, and another close match here at 106. But Hoffbauer leading 5-1 now with that escape. And he's in on a single leg, trying to get his third takedown of the match. And he's got it. Now you got to start thinking bonus points if you're Waukee.
Or the lack thereof if you're Norwalk. 6-point differential with a period yet to go. And 19 seconds and some change here. Hoffbauer did a nice job. He was almost in a position to get some back points. He's got him in position now again. Harper doing everything he can and gave up nothing.
So 7-1. Hoffbauer with the lead, headed to the final period.
So the 6-point differential, Harper would like to get it to 5 with a potential escape, or 4 with a reversal. But Hoffbauer able to do a great job off the whistle, stopping any switch opportunity, and he has a chicken wing in. Going to get into a situation here where Harper's going to have to do something or get called for a stalling. Of course, Hoffbauer has not been out to the side yet either.
Now he's going to try and, well, looked like he was going to try and run that a little bit. But he's looking to also get control of the wrist. He's got that chicken wing, battling for that wrist to try and make a run here.
That chicken wing is in there now deep by Hoffbauer. Nice Granby roll.
Good follow by Hoffbauer, and he remains on top here with just under 40 seconds to go in the match.
And off the mat, no
Rolls out of bounds.
Harper not giving up here. Trailing 7-1. 34 seconds to go in the match at 106.
Hoffbauer needs 2 more points to get a 4-point decision. And some points that Waukee certainly would love to have here. Hoffbauer with the near wrist, he's going to try and bring that up onto his back.
These two teams knotted up at 16 after the first 7 matches. And now Elijah Hoffbauer will give Waukee the lead with a decision here over Trent Harper. The final score 7-1. Back with the 113-pound match after this on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
As we come back, it's Tanner Smith with a takedown for Waukee. And for Norwalk on the mat, that's Jake McKenzie, a freshman. And the Warriors of Waukee now leading this dual meet 19-16. 8 matches into this duel. We started at 152. We're up to 113 now.
Tanner Smith did a nice job getting that first takedown. Then McKenzie able to get an escape, and then McKenzie shot right back in there trying to get the a takedown. But Smith able to get the head stuff down and lengthen him out. Now it's going to be a question of who can roll up on top here before a stalemate is called, and it's Tanner Smith as he's able to switch off to a double and finish the takedown for 2. Goes up 4-1 with 40 seconds to go in the first.
And now looking for a pin. He's got McKenzie on his back, and he's got his arms wrapped up. And a big pin for Waukee's Tanner Smith at 113 pounds. That gives Waukee a 25-16 edge after 9 matches. And we'll go to 120.
Card for Waukee, Thurman Christensen.
That's our second pin, or our fourth pin of the night. Norwalk scoring a couple, Waukee now a couple. And as we head to 120 pounds, Waukee leading Norwalk 25-16. And on the mat for the home team, Thurman Christensen, ranked number 3 at this weight class against a freshman for Norwalk, Donovan Card.
And it's the first time we've seen either of these guys tonight.
Yep, Mason City did not have a wrestler at this weight class.
Card working very hard to try and keep some pressure on. He drops his head just a little bit too low. And Christensen able to finish that up. Up 2-0 here with a minute to go in the first. Card wanting to do everything he can. It's Christensen certainly favored in the match. Now it's just a question of how many team points is he going to earn for Waukee. And so the goal isn't necessarily to get the win here by Card, but rather to not give up a pin or not give up the
Tech Fall.
Tech Fall, thank you.
Christensen mentioned ranked number 3 at this weight. Drake Ayala of Fort Dodge, the junior, has been ranked number 1 at this weight.
Seemingly forever.
Yeah. And Austin Kegley of Cedar Rapids Prairie also up there with Thurman Christensen here of Waukee, who's working on more back points. 2 more.
Points for Christensen, 6-0.
Nice job there by Christensen, returning him to the mat.
And off the mat, no points.
Had the near side leg hooked and was going to try and gator roll to come up on top, but no points awarded as they rolled out of bounds.
6-0 our score. Thurman Christensen leading Donovan Card of Norwalk after the first period at 1:20. Again, we started at 1:52, and Waukee's Cody Anderson winning that match over Cade Schmidt 6-2. At 1:60, Ethan Vederick of Norwalk, a 14-5 major, and that gave Norwalk a 4-3 lead. Nick Marker, a pin over Tanner Spikesman at 170 for Norwalk. Griffin Gamble beating Tristan Duncan at 182. Griffin, the sophomore, ranked number 2 for Waukee. And Norwalk up 10-7 at that point as Christensen scores another takedown here. 195, a win for Waukee. Cole Spikesma, a 5-2 victory. 220, Cale Thorson, a pin for Waukee. And 285, Maddox Borchadine Johnson, the freshman for Norwalk, a pin.
2-point takedown for Card, 11.
Card gets a takedown here. 11-3 now the lead for Christensen. Elijah Hoffbauer, a win at 106 by the score of 7-1, and Tanner Smith, a pin at 113, giving Waukee the 25-16 lead as we are into the 120-pound match now, and Thurman Christensen leading Donovan Card by the score of 11-3.
Card doing a nice job here, trying to keep riding throughout the period here, but they rolled out of bounds. 30 seconds to go. Christensen in the down position. It is an 8-point differential right now, so the major is there.
Granby turned into at least an escape here, maybe? No?
Nice job by Card. Did a nice job there with the hip toss.
Christensen remains in the down position here, leading this match by the score of 11-3.
Card kind of showing what he's got there. Nice job on the bear hug, bringing Christensen back down. Now he's got an arm up on the back.
But just 10 seconds to work with it here.
But maybe a little confidence building.
Yeah, headed to the third period. He's trailing by 8, but showing a lot of life.
120-pound match, Christensen leading Card, 11-3.
Christensen decides we're going to go into the neutral position here. I've had the advantage so far tonight, working on his feet, but Card certainly not giving up on it.
Christensen, the headlock at the edge of the mat.
And Card doing a nice job, not exposing his back for very long, did not give up any back points. 10-point differential as Card is going to try and work to stay out of that the tech fall points. Reaching in, has an ankle, but Christensen does a nice job pulling that arm up off there so he loses control of the foot. .120 to go here in third. Nice move there by Christensen. But Card not giving up any back points yet. There, he's got the 2 count, but he's bridging hard. He's going to have to stay up there for a long time.
3 back points for Christensen, 16-3.
2 more points, and it will be a tech fall. 40 seconds to go.
He's got the cradle locked up.
Yeah, cradle locked up.
But can he get Card turned to his back again? Very close here. There, he's going to at least get a tech fall, but hoping for maybe a pin here. He's got 25 seconds to work with. There's the tech fall.
And that's, yeah, so 30-16. We are now looking at a 14-point team differential. We're going to get into a couple of matches here where Waukee going to have to fight to keep those points going. We get into
yeah, these next 2 matches, 2 of Norwalk's better wrestlers. Grant Harbor right now at 126. He finished 7th in the state last year. He's a junior, and he's facing Waukee's Connor Kelly, also a junior.
And he's mixing up his offense pretty good. But Kelly able to stay square with him.
Grant Harbor ranked 6th in the state at 126. Colin Shriver of Mason City, the top-ranked wrestler at this weight class, did not compete tonight. Both Shriver brothers battling back from injury did not wrestle tonight for Mason City here at Waukee.
So again, we'll keep an eye on that score as bonus points here by Norwalk is going to close that gap up, as they are going to be favored in this match plus the next one.
Yeah, there's the potential. This could come down, the team score could come down to the final match of the night, as Harbor gets the first points on the board.
And he still has that knee. He's trying to work through for a Turk. Try and work him over. But Connor Kelly does a nice job keeping his hips square to the mat.
Because Shriver did not wrestle tonight, Mason City had an open position here at this weight, so forfeited. So these 2 wrestlers on the mat right now, this is their only match of the night. And we'll head to the second period with Grant Harbor of Norwalk leading Connor Kelly 2-1 or 2-0.
Harbor takes the choice here in the second, and he is going to go to the down position. He did a very nice job riding the period out there. And there was some explosion there by Harbor. Have to be impressed with Kelly as he was able to follow the hips. Still has control here.
It's a switch attempt by Harbor, but good job maintaining control by Connor Kelly.
And a great job returning him to the mat. He was able to get his hips up into the air, got his feet off the mat, brought him back down, but Harbor not to be denied. So he takes a 3-0 lead with the escape.
Waukee has won the last 3 matches. One by tech fall, another by pin, and a 7-1 decision at 106. So now a 30-16 lead for Waukee as we're here in this 126-pound match with 3 more matches to go. Not quite a takedown yet for Harbor, and countering back is Kelly.
Kelly really showing what he's made of here, but exerted a lot of energy not going down. See what kind of finish here Harbor can have in the last 19 seconds of the second period. He has scored a takedown, he has scored an escape. And Kelly was out of his choice in the third as he does a nice fireman's carry to finish up the second period. 5-0 in favor of Harbor.
It's the end of the second period. Harbor leading Kelly 5-0.
Critical 2 minutes coming up here for both wrestlers as Norwalk hoping for some bonus points in this match.
This would be a match where they need bonus points if they're going to try and come away with a victory tonight. Naturally, a pin is where they would want to get to, but Kelly is certainly showing signs of...
He's not easy to turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Harbor on top, the Norwalk wrestler, and the purple, gold, and white singlet. Trying to bring his team a little bit closer in this dual meet against Waukee. 30-16 is our team score with 3 more matches to go after this one.
Harbor did have the leg hooked, and he was trying to reach across the body and pull the elbow up. Try and get some type of a guillotine in possibly, but the official stopped it, saying it was potentially dangerous. And so he lets Kelly go. Kelly has his first points and a nice effort on a high crotch, but Harbor able to stuff the head and get it down to the mat.
50 seconds to go in the match. A 5-1 lead for Grant Harbor of Norwalk.
A great effort there on a fireman's, but he stopped it, went into a Kelly, and had a great opportunity to finish for a takedown, but a wonderful whizzer there by Connor Kelly. We're still in a neutral position.
Potentially dangerous position, so the match stopped, and we head back to the center. Still 5-1 for Grant Harbor with 25 seconds to go in the match. He's got to work in a 2-on-1 here.
Harbor in on a nice double.
I think a good call there by the official not to award the 2 points. It was very close.
Well.
And so just a regular decision here at 126 pounds. No takedown there at the buzzer. So the final score, Grant Harbor beating Connor Kelly 5-1. Some more points on the board for Norwalk. Our team score now 30-19.
All right.
Waukee in the lead, and
Carter Smith.
With the 11-point differential here, and we have 2 matches to go, it is possible for Norwalk to pull this out, but it's going to take 2 pins to win. It's going to take a pin and a tech fall to tie. Anything shy of that, and Waukee will come away with the victory.
Yep. 2 matches to go after this one.
After this one?
Yeah. So we're at 132. We started at 152. This is Keaton Moret, a senior for Norwalk, ranked number 9 at this weight class. He finished 4th at state last year, up against Carter Smith, a junior for Waukee. Earlier tonight, Keaton Moret scoring an 8-3 win over Connor Weeman of Mason City. And Weeman beat Carter Smith of Waukee 9-4.
A lot of head pressure there by Norwalk wrestler Keaton Moret, as he was also trying to look for a heel pick, but it wasn't there. Now he's working toward a outside single. That wasn't there. So with 50 seconds, we're back on our feet, starting fresh.
So Moret of Norwalk ranked number 9 at this weight class as we looked at some of the top-ranked wrestlers. At 132, Hunter Garvin of Iowa City West, Aiden Riggins of Waverly Shell Rock. Some other really good wrestlers ranked high from Des Moines East, Southeast Polk, Burlington, Waterloo East. And obviously Keaton Moret hoping to get on the victory stand at Wells Fargo Arena coming up next month. But right now his focus on Carter Smith, the junior for Waukee. We have no score late here in the first period at 132.
It is kind of hard to, imagine the fact that we're a month away from the end of the wrestling season.
End of the first period, 132 pounds, no score.
That month of February goes by fast if you're a wrestling fan.
Indeed it does.
If you're a fan of warm weather, it's a very slow month.
I heard it put as February is the absolute longest short month there is.
Yep.
Smith, 1-0.
Carter Smith getting his escape there, takes a 1-0 lead over the higher ranked wrestler. Takes a shot, but gets elongated out just a little bit. Still trying to sit through as he does have that both hands around the leg. But Moret trying to work into grabbing that far ankle, but he twists over. And we're starting fresh again. 50 seconds to go in the second. I don't even know how to describe that. It was kind of almost like he was going to try and throw the half Nelson from the front side. And Smith was able to roll out of it. Coach Schmitz over there letting his wrestler know he needs to kind of get busy here. He's down 1-0. Needs to have a little action, maybe score a point or two, get a takedown here at the end of the period with 6. Now 3 seconds to go.
So we head to the final period, and Carter Smith of Waukee leading Keaton Moret by the score of 1-0. This is definitely a match that Norwalk's pointing to, thinking they need to win if they're going to have a chance in this dual meet.
Yeah, and not only win, but score the bonus points that they need. Well, Carter Smith not going away.
He's in a good position here to put Moret on his back, possibly. If he can stay between the legs there. But good job fighting out by Moret, who gets to his feet and gets a takedown, and now has Carter Smith in some trouble.
And got 2 back points as well.
5-1.
That happened in a hurry. Carter Smith kind of controlling this match, leading 1-0, but in just a matter of seconds, Moret now leading 5-1.
Had the 1-point escape and then a 2-point takedown and 2 near fall. Doing a quick check for blood, and it looks like Moret has a little.
All right. A 30-second timeout. Back with more wrestling after this on CISN.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Keaton Moret of Norwalk leading Carter Smith of Waukee by the score of 5-1 here at 132 pounds. And Moret trying to get some more points on the board for his team, trailing. Norwalk is trailing Waukee 30-19 heading into this match. 2 more matches to go after this one. And an escape for Smith. The intentional release makes it 5-2.
Moret back in that position again where he has the ankle, trying to work for 2 and possibly more. He has the 2.
He's got that cradle locked up, but can he position himself to put Smith on his back? 35 seconds to go. Smith,
he needs to get some back points here.
able to break that lock.
Yeah. Moret
Not
still working
up.
it.
Oh my gosh.
And it's tight.
Oh, why did I am surprised he called that off the mat.
Oh, Keaton Moret had a pin. We're going to find out here what the call was. You have to have the supporting limbs on the inside the ring in order to have that happen.
Yeah.
It's 9-2, so it's 7 points is the difference right now. So Moret says, all right, we're going to our feet. Now it's a 6. I need to get a takedown to move it to 8. He's going to be looking for that takedown. He's got 10 seconds to get it done.
Brandon Schmitz, the coach for Norwalk, really unhappy with that call on the edge of the mat. And now it looks like instead of a possible pin for Moret, he's going to just have a regular decision.
And that's where it's going to end.
Okay, so our final score, 9-3. Keaton Moret beating Carter Smith. And that makes our score Waukee 30 and Norwalk 22.
So 8-point difference, 2 matches to go.
Landon Card, the junior for Norwalk. Dominic Rubino, a freshman for Waukee. Card in that match against Mason City, a 13-3 win. And Rubino had a pin in his match against that Mason City wrestler.
Card working on this 2-on-1 to the side and trying to look for an outside single, but it wasn't there. Now they're both into an over-under. See whose hips can get lower here.
As we look forward to our last match of the night at 145. It'll be a sophomore against a freshman. And they could be the ones to decide how this meet turns out. Although, if Rubino of Waukee wins this match, then Waukee will come out on top of this duel. Or he could guarantee that Waukee will hang on to win. And he does get a 2-point takedown here.
So it's 2-2 here. Card's going to be in the down position. Rubino is on top. Coach Volmecki over here trying to see what's going on with the flurry. Seeing if there should have been some back points awarded. I'm sure he's putting together a very good argument, but I don't know how far it's going to go.
Yeah.
The Norwalk faithful jumping in here, letting them know this is really not a conversation that needs to continue to happen.
So no change. The score will remain 2-2 with 30 seconds to go in the first period.
Rubino has a very strong ride there. He's got that half Nelson and was inside the far leg, but rode too high.
And a reversal and some back points coming for Landon Card. 5 seconds left in the first period.
And his coach telling him, hey, don't get all out of whack there. You just got your reversal and +2. Let's not give up anything silly at the end of the mat. End of the period.
So Card, the wrestler from Norwalk, a 6-2 lead headed to the second period. And a match, obviously, Norwalk needs to win if they're going to have a chance to win this duel against Waukee.
And you're starting to think now, all right, you look at him, he's bouncing around on the mat, feeling pretty good about himself. Naturally, the win is the most important thing, but if he can sneak out any bonus points, that would make the last match that much more interesting.
Yeah.
Has the leg hooked in. Had to let go as he is riding pretty high up there. Brings him back down to the mat, not necessarily all that safely. So he got out of position a little bit, but was able to stay there. Nice job, better job returning as the official kind of let that play out a little bit longer than I would have expected. Trying to potentially work here for a cradle, riding high. Staying on that leg. He has the far wrist as well. And in a position to get some back points.
Who's in control here?
Yeah, the question is, now the back points come. So he's got 3. Oh,
boy.
I tell you what, Pat, I need a stress ball. I am on the edge of my seat here.
Landon Card with 3 more near fall, making our score 9-2. 30 seconds to go in the second period.
So it's a 7-point differential. 20 seconds to go in the second. He does have a tilt kind of hooked up. He's just going to have to get the hips loaded. Ended up losing that. But a nice job staying in control as now he has the leg hooked in, looking to a crossface.
Pretty dominant second period there for Landon Card, and now has a 9-2 lead as he'll start the final period in the bottom position.
I'm not all that sure where I started that period sitting, but I'm a lot further away than from where I started. Hips are high by Rubino here. But he's got both legs locked in. He's got a half Nelson.
Can Card shake out of this? He leads 9-2. A minute 30 to go in the match.
Naturally, you have to preserve the win, but he needs more points. Rubino's hips going a little bit low. Now back up. I'm waiting for the next flurry to happen.
Yeah, something's going to happen.
Card almost made a cardinal mistake by looking like he was going to reach up over the top. But he's going to come around.
Rubino in trouble. He's got a headlock here. He's getting near the reversal, and he's got Rubino on his back. But does he have enough control?
He's going to try and elongate that arm. He's got a butcher happening here.
Oh, boy. And with 35 seconds to go, he's got Rubino in some serious trouble here. Both arms tied up.
And that's going to be about it.
25 seconds to work with here.
Nothing yet.
Norwalk fans wondering what that official is seeing down there, because it does look like he's pretty flat. 10 seconds. Five, 3, 2, 1, and there will not be a pin there, and Norwalk faithful can't believe that a pin wasn't called, but it's a 14-2 win for Landon Card. And that's 4 more points on the board for Norwalk. So as we head to our final match, Waukee has a 30-26 lead.
So Norwalk needs the win, a major to tie, a tech fall, or a pin to win.
And it's all up to Caden Nunez, a sophomore for Norwalk. For Waukee, freshman Colin Driscoll.
Regardless, Norwalk is making a statement tonight.
Yeah. Caden Nunez survives the scare, rolls through, and gets the 2-point takedown. Or I should say Colin Driscoll with the takedown.
Yes. This could be another one of those matches, Pat.
Well, if you're Caden Nunez, let it fly. You got nothing to lose. Your team's
That's right.
trailing by 4 points, and he does get a reversal here, and we're tied up. Again, Nunez needing a major decision to tie this dual meet, or a tech fall for Norwalk to win it, or a pin.
And there have been some things that just haven't gone Norwalk's way tonight. No pin called over by the edge of the mat, and coming away with just a 3-point team victory rather than a 6-point team victory.
Keaton Moret at 132, just scoring a regular decision, just coming up short of a major. Here's a cradle locked up by Nunez, but
Driscoll hanging onto that leg. Going to try and push the arm up over his head.
15 seconds to go.
This is a situation in the match where both wrestlers could make a mistake. He might get him turned, but it won't be with enough time to get any back points.
All right. So end of the first period, we're tied at 2. This is about as exciting as it gets in high school wrestling. A dual meet coming down to the final match.
You're going to have a little blood time.
And we'll take a quick break, come back with the final bit of wrestling here on CISN.
People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords during the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges and up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
145 pounds, our last match of the night, and this one will decide the outcome of this duel between Waukee and Norwalk. We've had an exciting one. Waukee leading 30-26, and it's Caden Nunez, the sophomore for Norwalk, needing a win and a major decision to tie the duel, a tech fall to win it or a pin. Colin Driscoll, if he can get the win for Waukee, he'll give his team the victory.
Oh,
just starting the second period.
Driscoll may have been in a position where he was actually getting a half Nelson, maybe in a position to get some back points, but he was called for potentially dangerous. And so we're going to start over in that referee's position with Nunez back up on his feet.
Driscoll brings him back down to the mat. It was Driscoll that scored the first points in this match, a takedown, then Nunez a reversal in that first period. That's why our match is tied at 2. Now 40 seconds gone in the second period. The entire bench for Norwalk on their feet.
And their fans in the stands ready to erupt if something positive happens here.
1:06 to go in the second period as Nunez is near an escape here. But Driscoll, a good 2-on-1, brings him back down to the mat. Under a minute to go now in the second period. And Nunez really riding tough here.
Yeah, Driscoll doing a great job keeping him down.
Driscoll, I should say. .30 seconds to go in the second period. Still tied at 2, but Driscoll has ridden Nunez out this entire second period.
Nunez has been to his feet a couple of times, but Driscoll just doing a great job returning him to the mat. Good forward pressure, downward pressure. Trying to work in that chicken wing, but not getting it done. So we're going to finish this period tied 2-2. Great job by Driscoll.
Yeah. He rode the entire 2 minutes, and this is interesting. We'll go to our feet to begin the third.
Well, Driscoll is the one that had the takedown, and he's in on one now. See if Nunez can finish it. Driscoll gets the takedown.
And very close to some back points.
Blood time.
More blood time here, but okay, Driscoll does get 2 back points. So now 6-2. Driscoll in command here in the third period. 1:42 to go and some blood time. So Driscoll, good chance here to secure the victory for Waukee. They lead 30-26. This is our final match of the night. We started at 1:52. We're at 1:45. And a lot of excitement in that match at 1:38 where Landon Card of Norwalk nearly had a pin, wasn't called by the official, and he still ended up with a major decision. But boy, if that pin would have been called, we'd have a 30-28 match instead of 30-26. As we're just about ready to get back to action here. 1:42 to go in the match. Colin Driscoll of Waukee leading Caden Nunez by the score of 6-2. And Driscoll needs a win, or if he were to lose by just a regular decision, his team would still end up victorious tonight over Norwalk.
Nunez to his feet, and he gets the escape, but Driscoll right back in on a shot, gets the takedown. 1:30 to go, he's up 8-3.
1:25 left in the match.
And Driscoll, we've seen him ride an entire period, so we know that he's got some very good abilities when he takes the top position. Nunez is going to have to continue to scoot his feet, get his head up, create a little space, get an escape. But Driscoll not making it easy at all.
No, he's got that leg in. He's in good position here, hips up. And with 45 seconds to go in the match, he has an 8-3 lead.
Driscoll still has that leg. Nunez is doing everything he can to try and get underneath that leg.
Close to getting some back points here, but not quite. 20 seconds to go, and it looks like Waukee will be able to win this duel against Norwalk.
But make no mistake, Norwalk made a statement tonight that they can wrestle with the state's best.
So our final match won by Colin Driscoll of Waukee. The match score 8-3. And our final score in this duel, Waukee 33 and Norwalk 26. Back to wrap it up after this on CISN.
Waukee 33, Norwalk 26.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
The Chevy Sell-Down event is going on now at Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. New 2020 Silverado Crew Trail Boss, $279 per month. New 2020 Crew RST, $11,000 off or $4,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Eligible GM card members get an additional $1,000 off select models. Up to $6,000 off or $2,000 off plus 0% for 72 on new 2020 Equinox LTs. New Silverado LT Double Cab, $219 per month. The Chevy Sell-Down. Schottenkirk Chevy Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com. People drive to Indianola to buy new Fords. During the final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $14,000 off MSRP. New Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLTs. Up to $14,500 off MSRP. New Expeditions. Final 19 model year closeout at Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. Up to $9,000 off new Edges. And up to $7,000 off new Escapes. $14,000 off new F-150s. Don't miss it. Schottenkirk Ford, Indianola. SchottenkirkFord.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Our final duel of the night is a win for Waukee over Norwalk, 33-26. By far most exciting duel of the night. Earlier we saw Waukee beat Mason City 71-8, and then Norwalk beat Mason City. The final there was 72-6, and then Norwalk and Waukee going head-to-head in our final duel. Waukee winning 8 of the 14 matches. And it came down to that final match at 145, Keith, and Colin Driscoll of Waukee scoring an 8-3 win to secure the victory for the home team.
You know, going into that, you take a look at it and you see that Driscoll's a freshman, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And going to wrestle the sophomore from Norwalk. On paper, you think, well, go with the older wrestler, a little bit more experience, but Driscoll showed he wanted it. Both wrestlers wanted it. It's not a question of who wanted it more. They both wanted it. But Driscoll, able to come out on top, did a fantastic job. The difference in that match was the second period, as Driscoll showed that he was going to be able to ride his opponent out the entire period. And being around wrestlers and understanding that, man, somebody rode me the entire period, that doesn't necessarily bode well as I go into the third period. And they're going to be down. You know, you didn't get the point you needed in the second period, and in the third period, you have to start out on top. The reversal happened, and that was about all she wrote.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us tonight for an exciting night of high school wrestling here from Waukee High School. Again, our final in this last duel of the night, Waukee beating Norwalk 33-26. For Keith Bornas, I'm Pat Curtis. Thanks for watching High School Wrestling on CISN.